Alright, we're back again. Let's go ahead and complete this CompTIA A+. It's been a while. Life happens, work happens, but we're gonna finish what we started. So there's no quitting around here. Let's go ahead and get this going. Alright, so we left off at level 8. We're not far off from the end. Which of the following memory types has the smallest form factor? Small outline DIMM, micro DIMM is smaller, dual inline memory module, so it has to be micro. Which of the following Linux commands will show you a list of running processes? PS processes. Your company provides medical data to doctors. Let me get organized here. Okay. Alright. Your company provides medical data to doctors from a worldwide database. Because of the sensitive nature of the data you work with, it's imperative that the authentication must be established on each session and be valid only for that session. Which of the following authentication methods provides credentials that are valid only during a single session? So a certificate would be longer than a session. Smart card is physical. Token, that would be available for only a session. License would be longer than a session, so I'm gonna go with token. Created when a user system successfully authenticates. The token is destroyed when the session's over. You are installing a single 802.11g wireless network. The office space is large enough that you need 3 wireless access points. What channels should you configure the wireless access points on to avoid communication issues? So you don't want them overlapping, right? So 3, 6, and 9. And then you also want to make sure they're legitimate signals. I know 14, we don't have that signal in the US. 257, I'll go 1611. So there are 14 communication channels in the 2.4 range, but only the first 11 are configurable. So you can only configure the first 11 channels. That's what it was. Okay. The 3 non-overlapping channels are 1, 6, and 11. Which of the following tools automatically verify system files after a reboot to see if they were changed to unprotected copies? System file checker. Verify system files after a reboot to see if they were changed to unprotected copies. To back up the files on your disk in Windows 7, which Windows program can you use? So on Windows 7, you want to back up the files. Which Windows program do you use for this? You can use Backup. The backup utility provided with Windows 7's and Windows Vista versions of Windows has different levels of functionality. In Windows 8, this could be done with file history. Which of the following utilities will arrange the files on your hard disk to occupy contiguous chunks of space? So it's rearranging files on your hard disk to make them contiguous. So that would be a disk defragmenter. Rearranges the files on your hard disk. You've been asked to configure a network for a small office. The wireless router is installed, and now you need to connect the client computers. What do you enter on the client computers to connect to the router? So the router's installed, and now you need to connect the client to that router. What do you enter on that computer to connect to the router? So you don't have to input the MAC address into the router. You do input a security passphrase, The default router password should have been changed. The administrator password should have been changed. So the security passphrase. What kind of device uses unique physical traits of the user to authenticate their access to a secure system? Biometric. So using physical traits to authenticate. The keyboard, not physical traits of the person. Barcode reader, not physical traits of a person. Touchscreen, not physical traits of a person. Which of the following best describes the concept of hot swappable devices? Care must be taken when swapping the device because it can be hot to the touch. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual physical heat of it. The device can be removed with power applied after it is properly stopped. That would be a warm swap if you have to properly remove it. The device can be swapped while it's still hot immediately after powering down the system. You don't actually have to power down the system with the hot swap. That's the whole point of it. Power does not need to be turned off. There you go. Before the device is inserted or removed. That's it right there. I'm looking at the OBS settings here. Give me a second. I'm gonna knock them down to a 4000 bit rate. See if that helps it out any. Because saying the stream health is pretty low makes no sense. Let me refresh the page real quick. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's still live though. Fuck it. Alright. How do you connect a DVI-A analog interface on a peripheral to a DVI-D digital interface? So A stands for analog, D stands for digital. You can't go from analog to digital on that. So you wouldn't be able to interconnect them. A standard DVI-D cable, it's not how you would interconnect them with a cable that is terminated one A DVI-A and the other with DVI-D. No. So such a connection will not be able to be made. DVI-I cables act like universal cables. They can connect two DVI-A interfaces or two DVI-D interfaces with adapters. Natively, they are used to connect two DVI-I interfaces, both of which are configured. So that's a lot of words, right? Analog and digital DVI interfaces are two disparate. I don't know. Next. You are configuring a virtualization workstation for your home use. Which of the following is required for your new system? Alright, so you're making a new virtual workstation for home. What do you need? Multiple NICs, not necessarily. Multiple host. Wow, I cannot talk today. Multiple host operating systems. File sharing services. Maximum RAM allowed. So if you're making a virtualization workstation, the workstation itself doesn't need multiple host operating systems, but maximum RAM allowed would be better. File sharing services, you don't really need them for the workstation to actually work. So I'm going to go maximum RAM allowed. They're primary requirements. All the other ones, yeah, you can, but not necessarily required. Your help desk has informed you that they have received an urgent call from the Vice President last night requesting his logon ID and password. When talking to the VP today, he said he never made the call. What kind of attack is this? So spoofing, they're trying to act like that person. Sorry, I'm not thinking straight. Okay. Replay attack, to be completely honest, haven't heard about that. Spoofing, you're not trying to call someone with that. It's all done electronically. Social engineering is when you try to talk your way into doing stuff. And Trojan horse, you are, I mean, that could be the closest one, right? Because you're trying to pretend you're something positive, like the vice president, but it turns out you're not good. It's social engineering. I have a terrible time explaining these. I know what it is in my brain, but I can't explain them too well. Someone tries to con your organization into revealing account and password information is launching a social engineering attack. What's up, all my viewers? If you're just joining in, we're just doing some A+ today, man. I'm trying to finish this up. We're on level 8, so if y'all know the answers, y'all want to make fun of me, hit me up on the chat. Which directory on a standard Windows Vista installation holds the boot file configuration? So in Windows Vista installation, that would holds a boot file. Or could it be boot? There you go. Which of the following is a Mac OS X feature for password management? Spotlight, no. Gestures, no. Dock, no. Keychain is what sounds the most probable. There you go. Your office just added 20 new workstations, and your manager has put you in charge of configuring them. The users need to have Microsoft Office installed. What should you do to install Microsoft Office properly on these computers? Well, let's see. Ensure that the company has proper licenses to install 20 additional copies. True. Agree with the open source license. Already false. It's not open source for Microsoft Office. Use a personal license key from an existing system to install Office on the new computers. No, that's stealing the licensing. Follow normal installation procedures. Nothing else needs to be done. No. Want to make sure you got the licenses. You get into big troubles. What is the maximum number of physical CPU supported by Windows 7 Enterprise? 2. There you go. Which feature allows you to use free space on a removable disk drive? On a removable drive to speed up a system. Ready boost. What is the combined total speed of a PCIe 2.0 x16 slot? So each slot is 500 megabits to and fro, so it makes it a total of 1 gigabyte per second. If it's an x16 slot, then 16 gigabytes per second. Which peripheral port type was designed to transfer data at higher speeds over a D-sub interface? IEEE 1284. It specifies that ECP parallel port use a DMA channel. There you go. What type of coaxial cable is recommended for digital television cable signals? RG6. RG5 59 too, but RG6 is better. A user calls saying that the laptop won't power on. He charged it all night, so he knows that the battery is fine. What should you have him do first? Replace the battery with the spare and try to power it on? Well, he might not have a spare. What's easier? Send the laptop in for service? That's the last thing you want to do. Plug in the laptop using an AC adapter and try to power it on. That could work. Toggle the battery power switch on the front of the laptop and then try to power it on. I don't think there's a battery power switch, so you want to plug it in directly to AC. Make sure that the issue is indeed the battery. If you are going to run a network cable in the space above the drop ceiling in your office, what kind of cable should you use? So a network cable would be a sorry, it would be an Ethernet cable, right? So it's not coaxial. Oh my god. Oh, and it's not PVC. It could be fiber optic, but I don't think you want to be running fiber optic cable throughout your office for this. And especially you would need a fiber connector in the back of your computer. So Plenum actually has a protection for fire. PVC is the other type of coating typically found on network cables, but it produces a poisonous gas when burned. So there you go. You have just installed a new printer. After it is installed, it prints only garbled text. Which of the following is most likely the problem? So garbled text is always drivers, right? So incorrect print drivers, unsupported printer, wrong IP address, warm print head. It's the drivers. What type of device will block unwanted traffic from your network using a set of rules you called an ACL, so an access control list? So will block unwanted traffic from your network using the rules. So an internet appliance, very broad. I guess you could call that's another way of saying a router, right? And it's neither. So a router, I mean, routers could have a firewall built in, which has the access control list, but the router itself doesn't block the unwanted traffic. It would be the firewall. And a NAS would just be network access storage, so it's actually just storing your stuff, so it'd be firewall. Which of the following statements about power supplies is true? You need to make sure that the voltage selector switch on the back of the power supply switches to the lower setting if the computer is going to be used in Europe. Well, actually in Europe they use a higher setting than they do in the US. Power supplies supply power to ATX based motherboards with the common connectors, with the connectors known as P8 and P9. That is incorrect. Power supplies convert AC input to DC input, so the alternating current from the wall to the direct current that the components need inside the computer. True. SATA hard drives most often use the same type of power connector that PATA hard drives use. No, SATA uses a different connector than a PATA for that, so they're converting the power. So if you question, the Molex connector is used for the PATA drives. SATA drives use a more specific power connector. And then for ATX motherboard, so the power that the motherboard gets, it uses a 20 or a 24 pin single power connector, not the P8 or P9. Legacy AT motherboards called for P8 and P9. What happens during the developing stage of laser printing? So this is when you're developing the image, right? So an electrostatic charge is applied to the drum to attract the toner particles. That would be developing the image, right? Or would that be transferring the image? Or I'm going to put that one as a maybe because I'm feeling pretty dumb on this one. Heat is applied to the paper to melt the toner. That is the fusing part, so that wouldn't be it. An electrostatic charge is applied to the paper to attract the toner particles. That would be the transfer stage. The laser creates an image on the page on the drum. That would be the what's it called? Man, it's another stage. I know it's not developing, or is it the developing stage? An electrostatic charge is applied to the drum. So it's either the first one or the last one. An electrostatic charge is applied to the drum, or the laser creates an image of the page on the drum. So we're trying to figure out when it's developing. I'm going to go with the laser creates an image. Okay, there was the other one. So after the laser has created an image of the page, the developing roller uses a magnetic and electrostatic charges to attract the toner to itself. and then transfers the toner to areas. So what's that one called? When the laser creates an image. Is it the creation stage? So the laser creates an image as a creation stage, right? Oh man. Okay. So an electrostatic charge is what I thought. It was between those two. Just wasn't sure if this one was like a previous stage or not. So this is a creation change, and then this is the developing. Got it. Which type of system simply needs to run standard versions of Windows and desktop applications? Right? So, home server PC needs a lot more than just that. Let's see. And plus, home server would more than likely be using the server version of Windows. Virtualization workstation. Not necessarily. Thick client would need it's between thick and thin. I always have an issue between these two. I know thin client, all it really needs is like a network card, because it's all done on the actual server. The actual OS is hosted on the server, so I'm gonna go with thick client. There you go. What can you do if a program is not responding to any commands and appears to be locked up? Press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to reboot the computer. That wouldn't reboot it. But that's a combo you want. Open the System Control Panel applet and choose Performance to see what process is causing the problem. Open Task Manager and select the appropriate task and click End Task. Add more memory. It's Task Manager, which you do use Ctrl-Delete for, but it doesn't reboot the computer. Which of the following statements are not associated with the star network? Choose all that apply. So, are not associated with the star. So what is not describing the star network? A single cable break can cause a complete network disruption, so that's not, so that's probably it. Choose all that apply. Okay, it uses a dual ring configuration. That's not another thing too. All devices connect to a central device. That is true. It uses a single backbone computer to connect all network devices. That is not true. So that'd be not true, not true, not true. Okay, so in a star network, all systems are connected using a central device, such as a hub or a switch. So not a computer, but a hub or a switch. The network is not disrupted for others when more systems are added or removed. The star network design is used with today's UTP-based networks. Alright, so you need to replace a failed AC adapter for a client's laptop. When replacing the adapter, which of the following purchases is acceptable to obtain the same or better results? So this is a voltage and wattage question. So voltage, that's the pressure of the power going through. And the wattage would be like the bucket of power that you have. So what is acceptable? You want to keep the same voltage if possible, and then you also, and a higher wattage would be fine. It would be okay. So an AC adapter with a lower voltage and wattage rating. Oh, so both voltage and wattage lower than the original, that wouldn't work. You want wattage to be the same or more. An AC adapter with a higher wattage rating than the original, yeah. An AC adapter with higher voltage rating, you don't want to give it more pressure than it can handle. DC adapter, that's already wrong because it already works with wait. Okay, so you're trying to replace the AC adapter. So yeah, so you're not working with DC, you're working with AC in this one. So AC adapter with higher wattage rating than the original. That's the route you want to go. So that's some information there describing AC and DC if you want to read that. You have a user who needs to keep desktop devices such as keyboard, monitor, and mouse permanently connected so they can be used by an attached laptop. which type of device do you recommend that they use? So this would be like a dock, right? So docking station, there you go. The only other thing that I was thinking of was a KVM, but once they said they wanted to be used by an attached laptop, it's a docking station. So your network uses thin clients. A new technician is amazed that the computers have no hard drives and asks if the operating system is not resident on the client, where is it found? We actually talked about this a second ago. It's on the server. It's not embedded in a flash module. It's not on a flash drive. It's not on a DVD. It's actually hosted on a server. Alright, so how many pins does a DDR2 micro DIMM memory module have? I think this one's 198. I'm terrible with like memorizing pins and stuff. 1 second, guys. Test. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I guess I kept the stream going. Let's go with some of this here. There we go. Alright, let's keep going. So this one I got wrong. DDR2 micro DIMMs can have 172 or 214 pins. Alright. It's all about memorization on that one. I really can't help it. Your laser printer keeps printing vertical black lines on its output pages. So laser printer, what is the most likely cause of the problem? So vertical black lines. So let's see. The EP drum cleaning blade is broken. There's a groove or scratch in the EP drum. The transfer corona wire is not working properly. It would be more likely if it's a black line, it'd be some kind of a scratch or groove because some of that ink is getting caught up in there. There you go. So you need to do an installation of Windows 7 in a PXE environment. Which of the following can be used? WinPE. I honestly don't know what these others are. Let's look them up. I don't like to be in doubt. So WinLoad, Windows bootloader. Oh, okay. WinResume, I'm assuming helps. Boot Manager will start. I wonder if this gives a whole entire description of the loading. No. Okay, so Boot Manager will start WinResume instead of WinLoad if the computer was in hibernation mode. WinResume is located in the same folder as WinLoad. Copies of WinLoad can be found in subfolders. Okay. Cool. And then just to make sure, so boot MGR boot manager is missing. Press Control. Okay. Seems to be a common issue here. Windows Boot Sequence Manager, first introduced, so it reads the boot configuration data and displays the operating system menu selection. Helps with boot. Simple enough. Cool. So I know WinPE's answer on that one though. Let's see. So Windows pre-installation environment is a stub operating system that creates a pre-boot execution environment. So you're temporarily filling in on phone support when a caller calls you that he's sick and tired of being bounced from one hold queue to another. He wants his problem fixed, and he wants it fixed now. What should you do? Try to resolve his problem without putting him on hold or transferring him elsewhere? True. Suggest that he call back at another time when you are not there. Nope. Transfer him to another technician who handles phone calls more often. You don't want to transfer him. Inform him up front that you're only filling in for temporarily and you won't be of much help. No, you want to help him out, so try to solve his problem. An engineer on your network is complaining that his CAD workstation is slow and he wants a processor upgrade. Which of the following reasons is justification for having a powerful processor? So why is it true that he needs a more powerful processor in his CAD workstation? The algorithms used in rendering graphics can be processor intensive. True. Only powerful processors can stream graphical information efficiently. No, not the graphical information, but graphics adapters used in CAD and CAM do not use their own processors, so the CPU performs this job well. No. Manufacturing equipment is generally faster than design equipment, which needs faster processors to keep up. No. So the algorithms. Which of the following system types does not require CPU enhancement of any sort? Gaming PC needs intensive graphics. Graphic design needs does not require CPU enhancement. So CPU gaming benefits from CPU. Graphic design workstation does benefit from CPU. Virtualization definitely. So audio and video editing workstation not as much. Let's go with that one. Why might you use a KVM switch? Keyboard video monitor switch. You have more than one server and don't want to buy certain external peripherals for each separately. You have multiple Ethernet devices that need to communicate with one another. No. You have a printer that is not attached to the network, but you want multiple computers to be able to print of it. No. You need to be able to switch the voltage supplied to a particular device. No, it has nothing to do with voltages. So, it's the first one. What is the minimum recommended memory for Windows 32-bit, Windows 7 32-bit? Windows 7, believe that one's 2 gigs, and it's 1. Awesome. Which of the following partitions is specifically the partition from which the operating system boots? The active partition. What is the minimum memory for 32-bit? That was a gig. My bad. I thought Windows 8 was a gig. How many pins does DDR2 microDIMM module have? 172 and 214. Okay. What happens during the developing stage of laser printing? An electrostatic charge is applied to the drum. Your laser printer keeps printing a vertical black line. Groove or scratch. Ain't getting caught in there. What is the minimum recommended memory for a 32-bit installation of Windows 7? 1 gig. How many pins does a DDR2 microDIMM memory module have? 172 or 214? Boom. What happens during the developing stage of laser printing? Electrostatic charge is applied to the paper during developing. Oops. Oops. To the drum. Way to go, me. Minimum recommended memory for a 32-bit installation of Windows 7, 1 gig. What happens during the developing stage of the laser printing? Electrostatic charge is applied to the drum. Smart one I am. Temporarily filling on phone support. We already know this one. You just want to help them. Try to solve this problem without putting them on hold. What happens during the developing stage of laser printing? Sorry, I got distracted. Electrostatic charge is applied to the drum. Yay! 8 is done. I've already rated. Level 9, let's go. Internal users suspect repeated attempts to infect their system as reported to them by pop-up messages from their virus scanning software. According to the pop-up messages, the virus seems to be the same in every case. What is the most likely culprit? Alright. So there's pop-up messages from their virus scanning software. According to the pop-up, the virus seems to be the same in every case. So you have a server is acting as a carrier for the virus. You have a caterpillar virus. There's a denial of service attack. Your antivirus service has malfunctioned. So it's working. That's why it's giving you the pop-up. Denial of service wouldn't be. It'd be denying you access to your network stuff. Caterpillar virus. Never heard of it really, to be completely honest. Let's I think it's made up. Pillar virus. Probably spelled that wrong. Oh yeah, I looked this up once before. It was back in DOS. So this is definitely not it. Let's see. Servers acting as a carrier is the only option. So some viruses won't damage a system in an attempt to spread into all of the other systems in a network. These viruses use that system as a carrier. Alright, so which of the following advantages to using dial-up internet service? Choose 2. It's cheaper, normally. Security is the same, the speed is slower, and it's available more broadly. Blink is the fastest and most modern interface used as an expansion method for external peripherals, such as mice, webcams, scanners, and printers. It is popular on laptops and desktops alike. Modern interface, using this expansion method for connecting a bunch of stuff. It's USB. Parallel would be more desktop, I would think. No, they're on laptops, but it's not most popular. PS2 is there, but it wouldn't be used for webcams. Neither would Parallel. ATA, that's more internal, unless it's like the external setup, but it's not the most popular. It's USB all the way. A customer is trying to explain a problem with their system. Unfortunately, the customer has a thick accent that you are unable to understand their problem. What should you do? Call a supervisor, start working on the system looking for obvious errors, apologize and find another user or manager who can help you translate, ask another technician and be set in your place. You don't want to just start working on it. You don't want to ask another technician to take over for you. So it's either you call your supervisor or you apologize and find another user or manager who can help you translate. I would say you would want someone to help you translate. Yeah. Because the supervisor might not be able to do anything about it either, so. Which partition is the one that contains the hardware-specific files needed to load Windows? So where in what partition are the files? That would be in either Windows or System. Let me say Windows. Of course it's System. System partition is the one that contains the hardware-specific files. Which of the following is an online site requiring Windows 8 or higher, where you can download apps, games, software, and so forth? The Windows Store. What does a DHCP server need to be configured with to operate properly? So a range, a DHCP relay agent, a DNS server, or a scope. Right? So a DHCP server will need a scope. It's a scope, which is a range of addresses. Okay. A server in your network has a program running on it that bypasses authentication. Which type of attack has occurred? So social engineering, that's a person trying to get in, so it wouldn't be that one. Denial of service attack, you're trying to deny service, so no. Backdoor, sorry. Yeah, backdoor, yeah, you're trying to bypass authentication by definition. Distributed denial of service, no. Oh, dang it! Click the one under. See, I said backdoor though. Alright. What is the fastest data transfer speed currently supported by NFC? 424, because 212 is in the middle, and then half of that, 106, is the slowest, so 424. Of all the network cabling options, Blink offers the longest cable segment, or offers the longest possible segment length. Fiber optic. Fiber optics always goes for avers. What is the contrast ratio? What is contrast ratio? So it is the luminance between darkest and lightest colors that can be displayed. Easy enough. You're running an 802.11g wireless router in mixed mode. You have 3 802.11g wireless NICs using the router. A new user connects using 802.11b wireless. What will happen? So if you ever have any kind of wireless, right? Like let's say in this case it's G, but if it was N. So anything higher, if anything is connecting to it, let's just stay with this example. So if you're running 802.11g, everyone else has 802.11g wireless NICs, then everyone's going to be running at 802.11g speeds. Now, if someone connects with a lower speed, like a B, then everyone else, no matter if they're G or whatever, they're all going to be brought down to the B speeds. So a user with 802.11b will be able to communicate. The user will access the network at 11, and all the other users know they will all go down to the 11 megabit speed. All users will access the, there you go. The user with 802.11b will access the network at 11 megabits. The users with 802.11g will access with 54, unless they're communicating with the 802.11b. No. It goes down. If you want to read that there. Which of the following tools can you use to delete temporary files and other unneeded files to free up disk space? That would be the disk cleanup. What devices transfer packets across multiple networks and use tables to store network addresses to determine the best destination? That'd be routers. You support an old dot matrix printer at work. When the printer prints, there's always a blank horizontal line in the middle of each line output. What is the most likely cause of the problem? So it's an old dot matrix printer, a blank horizontal line. So the print head needs to be replaced. The print ribbon is old and needs to be replaced. The wrong print driver is installed. It's not that one. The print ribbon is not advancing properly. So I remember reading this one before. So there's a blank horizontal line in the middle of each one. So if the print ribbon wasn't advancing properly, then it would be off-centered, so that's not it. The ribbon is old and needs to be replaced, and it would be lighter. So the print head needs to be replaced. Yeah. So that the pin is not firing properly, and the print head needs to be replaced. If the print ribbon were old, you would have consistently faded printing. If the ribbon cable were not advancing properly, you would get light and dark printing. Oh, so that's what it was. So if it's old, it's faded. If the ribbon cable were not advancing properly, You would get light and dark printing. You promised the customer that you would be out to service their problem before the end of the day, but have been tied up at another site. As it now becomes apparent that you will not be able to make it, what should you do? Arrive first thing in the morning, wait until after hours, and then leave a message that you were there. Call the customer and inform them of the situation. Yeah, you want to call them up. Which of the following wireless communication methods has the shortest operational range? Bluetooth, IR, Wi-Fi, NFC. So NFC is going to be near field, so that's obviously the reason. So NFC is 10 centimeters. Wi-Fi depends, but it's usually 30 meters or more. Bluetooth is 10 meters, and infrared has 1 meter distance. Which of the following is a common feature of a standard thick client? High performance hard drive, can run a full version of Windows, has much RAM installed as possible, has enhanced video capabilities. So this is just running a full version of Windows. You know, this standard systems do not have any special requirements, only that they run Windows and desktop applications. Where is the Windows Memory Diagnostics utility found in Windows Vista? So it would be Memory Diagnostics, right? So if you go to a system folder and it's underneath accessories in the system folder, don't believe so. Is it in the accessories folder? I don't think so. I know it is available in Windows, so it must be beneath administrative tools. Which of the following editions of Windows Vista can be upgraded to Windows 7 Professional? So from Vista to Windows 7 Professional. I think this one was Business. Yeah, Business. Windows Vista Business can be upgraded to Professional. Which of the following is not a requirement for installing iTunes on the Windows machine? 1 gig of RAM of higher. I think that's if you're wanting to do like high definition video. So it's not a requirement, so that's probably already it. Broadband internet connection, you do need that. 400 megs of available disk space. 1 gigahertz processor or better. I'm gonna go with 1 gig of RAM or higher. It's not required unless you want to do 720p high definition videos. What two devices are commonly used to cool components within a PC? Fans, Freons for AC, so we're not running AC there. Compressed air, it's for blowing out the dust. Heat sinks, that's another way to cool the components. That's actually cooling the CPU. Boom. What is the correct order of the steps in the EP print process? Let's see here. So, do you start with charging, or do you start with processing, or do you start with developing? I believe you would start with charging up the printer, right? Either that or processing. So let's take a look farther down the line. All right, just a lazy day today. Just frustrations and laziness. All right, so charge, process, expose, develop, transfer, fuse, clean. Right, that's the bottom one. So charge, process, expose the drum, develop the drum, transfer. Okay, so process, charge, expose, develop, transfer, fuse, clean. Process, transfer, expose. Yeah, so it's not this one, and it's not developing first, so it's either the first one or the last one. So the question is, do you process or do you charge first, right? Because everything else seems to be the same. Expose, develop, transfer, fuse, and clean. So which one comes first? Process or charging? I think you would charge and then you would process the image course, it's the other one. So you process first, then you charge. It doesn't need a long time to freaking charge then. Alright, so if it's processing, charging, I'm thinking of one of the last questions I had, where it was like developing. Okay, so I just need to remember that. Okay, next. Most smartphone Bluetooth accessories have a communication range approximately how far? So Bluetooth, that would be 10 meters. Which of the following allows you to perform the most complete restart of the computer without removing the power? So that would be the reset button. Hibernate would obviously put it into hibernation. Restart would actually temporarily remove the power. The power button would obviously remove the power. So it'd be the reset button. The reset button causes the computer to turn to nearly the same point as if when you power it on, but without the need for power cycling. The restart in the start menu does not reboot as deeply as a reset button. So the restart would reboot it, but it's not as complete, supposedly, as a reset button. So when you print documents on your laser printer, you see residue from the previous images on your output. What two things are most likely the causes in a laser printer, right? So it's a bad erasure lamp, which I think is a typo. I looked it up before. So laser printer erase. I guess it is. Shoot, I don't know. So I know that one's it. Overheating printer wouldn't cause residue. Faulty transfer current wire wouldn't cause residue. Broken cleaning blade would, though. Which two communication technologies can you use to create a VPN? So a Wi-Fi and if one host has an alias, or in other words, multiple names. Previous versions of Windows included Windows Explorer, which is the utility called in Windows. What is the utility called in Windows 8? So it used to be called Windows Explorer. Oh my god, my back. Now it's called File Explorer. Which step in the laser printing process occurs immediately after exposing? So it's processing, charging, exposing, developing. The display on your laptop appears warped and fuzzy. You plug it into an external monitor and the image is fine. So then your LCD display is messed up. Because if the video driver was messed up, it wouldn't show up on the monitor. If the video card was messed up, same thing. If the motherboard was messed up, then you got a bigger problem. Which features allow you to use free space on an SD card to speed up a system? Ready boost, right? BitLocker for encryption, shadow copies to make an image, ready drive. What is ready drive? Oops. feature in Windows Vista that enables Windows Vista computers equipped with a hybrid drive or other flash memory caches, such as Intel Turbo Memory, to boot up faster, resume from hibernation, and preserve battery power. Okay. Here we go. So which of the following most accurately describes how to obtain a firmware upgrade for your laser printer? Go to the website. Always. Which tool is used by technicians to connect an RJ45 connector to the end of a cable? That would be a crimper. What operating system feature offers the ability for a single application to have multiple requests into the processor at one time? Multi-threading. What is the default TCP port number for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol? That is 25. Which of the following is not controlled by the North Bridge? I think South Bridge controls the hard drives and stuff. North Bridge is stuff connected to the processor, so SATA would be South Bridge. If a program does not have a shortcut on the desktop or in the program submenu, you can start it by type CMD in the start. No, that'll open up command prompt. So you're halfway there. Using the shutdown command. No, you shut down the computers. Type CMD in the start box, followed by the program name. Nope. Use the run command and typing in the name of the program. There you go. All of the following systems benefit from increased RAM except for choose 2. So, which do not benefit from more RAM? Gaming PC does, virtual does. So, home theater PC would be one of them. And I guess graphic design. Of course, it's gaming. So, why is it not graphic design? Just because they don't benefit. Okay. Which of the following technologies allows for data transfers up to 20 gigabits per second? Data transfers, right? I think it would be Thunderbolt, because that's like the newest one. USB 3.1, which was one of the ones I was thinking about, is only up to 10 gigabit. Good to know. What is the name of the Russian-managed GNSS? So, Global Navigation System, I think it's called. That's GLONASS. Galileo is European. BDS is Chinese. IRNSS is Indian. Which of the following are disabled when airplane mode is switched on? Choose all that apply. Obviously, cell, your Wi-Fi, and your NFC. And your Bluetooth. Have to scroll for that one. Which utility is shown in the figure? Figure one of the utilities available in Windows 7. So this is showing the information of what type of version of Windows it is and about it. So it looks like WinVer version. There you go. Alright, so which of the following was installed to the desktop by default only in Windows Vista? That would be the sidebar. Which of the following uses would not require custom configuration? Excuse me. Which of the following uses would not require a custom configuration for a PC? So, a computer running Windows 7 Ultimate with 1 terabyte of data and 250 gigs of applications. A computer running WHS 2011. Computer to replace a BD player and DVR. A design computer used to drive a lathe that makes automotive rims. I don't get what this question's asking. So which of the following uses would not require a custom config? I don't get it. I'm gonna go with the first one. What? Okay. What does this even mean? The Windows 7 computer can be built as a normal system with a 2 or 3 terabyte drive. WHS 2011 needs Windows Home Server, needs a home server PC, a type of CAD workstation capable of CNC drafts, crafts the rims. A home theater PC is ideal choice to take the place of. Dude, the way some of these questions, man. Which service allows users with private IP addresses to access the internet using a public IP address? Network address translation. Private IP address. Which of the following is an IPv6 broadcast address? Trick question! It doesn't have one. It only has a multicast address. Bam! What is the maximum number of physical CPUs supported by Windows Vista Business Edition? 2. All of the following systems benefit from increased RAM except for, so which ones are more about pushing the graphics? So gaming and the home theater PC. What is the correct order of steps in the EP print process? Okay, so you don't charge first. You process, then you charge, then you expose, develop, transfer, fuse, clean. Yep. Alright, a server in your network has a program running on it that bypasses authentication. Which type of attack has occurred? So you're bypassing authentication, it's a backdoor. I just clicked that one wrong last time. I knew which one it was. Which partition is the one that contains the hardware-specific files needed to load Windows? So, system. That one I got wrong because I was dumb. What devices transfer packets across multiple networks and use tables to store network addresses to determine the best destination? That'd be a router. All of the following systems benefit from increased RAM except for, so gaming PC is just pushing, and the home theater PC is just pushing graphics. Which partition is one that contains the hardware specific files needed to load Windows? A system. A server in your network has a program running on it that bypasses authentication. Which type of has occurred? That is a backdoor. If you're wondering why it keeps on asking the questions, it's because this program is really cool and it allows you to learn by repeating the questions, reviewing the questions that you got wrong, and you have to get them right like twice or 3 times, I believe, before it actually considers you've learned it from your mistake, and then it'll progress to the next one, and it'll mix in a couple of questions you got right as well into that, so you can have a nice break, if you can call it, between all the questions you got wrong. So what is the process order of the steps in the EP print process? So first it is you process, and then you charge. There it is. Cool. Alright, so I don't think I've ever done, I haven't done level 10 before on this one. We've gone through 1 through 8. And then, well, actually 1 through 7. And then this video I started 8 through 9. Let's go ahead and let's knock out 10 real quick. I think this is the first time I've done it, so I'll probably get a lot more wrong. Which laser printer component permanently presses the toner into the paper? A fuser assembly. Which of the following is the most common shell used with Linux? Bash shell. Borna again shell. Your manager wants to use the cloud because everyone seems to be talking about it. What should you include when you are listing the benefits of using cloud? Choose all that apply. So the scalability is one of them. Reliability, because it's more redundant, I guess. More. Increased security. Not necessarily. Well, I mean, it's not stored locally, so I guess increased security would be one. Lower costs, not necessarily. Depends who you're going with. I'm gonna go with security. Of course, it's lower cost. Cloud solutions are great for enhancing scalability and reliability while generally lowering the cost. The biggest issue with the cloud computing is security. I guess. You are installing Windows 8 on a solid-state drive. Which of the following can be used to reduce the number of write operations Windows makes and thus optimize Windows for SSD? Good question. You are installing Windows 8 on a solid-state drive. Which of the following can be used to reduce the number of write operations? Ooh, I don't know this one. Process of elimination, right? So I don't think it's this part. I don't think that one does anything to reduce the number of write operations. I don't even know what MSD Tiny is. Well, I don't know what MSD is. I don't know what MCAT is, because it looks like those are commands and then options. So WinSat formal. So let's look these up. MSD command. Okay. So MCAT. Just to copy an entire disk. That's on Linux. We're not even doing Linux. WinSat. Running an assessment without parameters. Dude, I don't know. But for some reason it doesn't look like MSD and MCAT or WinSat, or it must be this part. I don't even know if I'm gonna go with it. Alright, it's not. WinSat. So Microsoft recommends that WinSat.exe be used with the formal option to optimize Windows. Reduces the number of write. Okay, so what is this? Let's .exe. Acronym for the System Assessment Tool. Okay, let's look it up with the formal command. Typically use ad hoc assessment to assess only one subcomponent of the computer. For example, the CPU or the memory. However, you can use the formal switch to access all subcomponents to initiate an ad hoc assessment. Call the So you use to initiate formal and ad hoc assessments of the computer's hardware. Retrieve the base score of the computer and scores for each subcomponent. Okay. So I'm just gonna say it is what it is. Standard permissions are permissions assigned to users but not groups. Permissions grouped together for easy assignment. The same as special permissions, no. Only the read, write, execute permissions. So I would say permissions assigned to users but not groups. Of course I'm wrong. Standard permissions, unlike special permissions, have been grouped together to make it easier for administrators to assign permissions. Cool, bro! Which media is susceptible to viruses? Memory stick, all of the above, CDR, tape. Tape and CDR are more like write once. So I would say memory stick. Of course! Damn it. What is the number of active satellites used by Chia? How the I'm gonna get a lot of these wrong and I'm gonna be very frustrated. It's gonna be fun. I'm just gonna say 36, 24. There are 32 GPS satellites in space, but with the extra 8 are backups. So there's actually 24, with 8 being backups. Which category of adapters includes NICs? Multimedia, video, communications, or input-output? I'm gonna say communications. You have a user who needs to upgrade their laptop. Due to how often he collaborates with others, he wants to be sure that the viewing angle is as wide as possible. Which technology should you look for? An IPS, a TN, LED backlight, a fluorescent backlight? So the backlight and the fluorescent backlight, that's the lighting, not the actual technology for the viewing. So I would go with LCD IPS. The backlight won't really affect the viewing. What you should look for is the laptop that uses LCD IPS technology, which offers a wider range of viewing. What is the typical screen size for a phablet? That would be 7 to 12 inches. Of course it's wrong. Oh, stick to the tablet. Dang it. Phablet, phone, tablet. This is gonna suck. I said it. You know, level 10. Haven't done it before. But I'm learning. I'm gonna learn. Which of the following is a program that runs on top of the OS and allows a user to issue commands through a set of menus or some other graphical interface? GUI. Oh my god! Which of the following... Okay, I need to just do this slower. Which of the following is a program that runs on top of the OS and allows the user to issue command... Oh, okay. I need to read slower. The shell is a program that runs on top of the OS. Oh gosh. Which utility is shown in the figure? One of the utilities available in Windows 7. Alright, so it looks like it says all control panel items. In Windows 7. Oh, this is the Action Center. Yeah, because it lets you do security maintenance and all that stuff. Home groups for the sharing stuff. Security Center would actually be... I don't even think there's a Security Center. It's all in the Action Center because security's right there. So, Action Center. The Action Center replaces the Security Center, which existed in Vista. Oh, so Security Center existed in Vista. It's gone in 7. Cool. Which of the following expansion buses uses serial communications and is capable of operating in USB and PCI modes? So it's a serial communications device. Which of the following expansion buses uses serial communication and is capable of operating in USB and PCIe modes? Good question. Uses serial communication. And is capable of operating in USB and PCIe modes. So I know FireWire is a cable. I don't even know. I think it's card bus. I honestly didn't even know what that is. So card bus is an older technology that supports USB 1.1 and PCI only. Mini PCIs, PCI, not PCIe. The express card bus ring brings USB 2.0, USB 3.0, and PCIe to the small form factor computing industry. Oh! This is the laptop deal. Oh! If they would have said laptops, man, I would have gotten that one. Which of the following registry hives contains information about the computer's hardware? Local machine. Or is it current? No, it'd be local. There are 5 basic hives in Windows registry. Classes root, current user, local machine, users, current config, local machine. Stores information about the computer's hardware. Current machine, and resources does not exist. So it's local machine. What is typically included in the EP print laser printer toner cartridge? Toner? Duh. Right? Toner. Not a laser, so it has to be a cleaning blade and the print drum. Which optical disc format supports a data capacity of 25 gigabytes? I would go with Blu-ray disc. What is the approximate minimum level of static charge for humans to feel a shock? Good question. I think it's 300? 3,000. Most people can feel an electric shock at about 3,000 volts. However, computer equipment can be damaged as little as 300. Which of the following is a characteristic of Bluetooth? Bluetooth is not yet fully standardized as a protocol. Bluetooth connections support wireless device control, but not file transfers. False. Bluetooth connections do not reach as far as Wi-Fi connections. True. Which of the following is a characteristic? Okay. You must reboot paired devices to complete connection establishment. I'm going to go with that one. Bluetooth is a fully standardized protocol that supports file transfers using FTP. Rebooting or even restarting paired devices is not a requirement for a Bluetooth connection. Which of the following is replacing the master boot record in 64-bit versions of Windows operating system? That is the GPT. You turn a computer on and it does not boot properly. From inside the case, you hear a rhythmic ticking sound. What is most likely the problem? Your hard drive is done. What is the name of the area at the bottom of a Mac OS X screen where, by default, a bar of crucial icons? The dock. A physical star topology consists of several workstations that branch off of a central device called a hub. A hub, or a switch, is at the center of a star topology. A NIC is a network card. Okay. The process by which the processor slows down to conserve power is officially called throttling. Because underclocking is something you have to do. But does it underclock itself? No, it throttles itself. You turn a computer on, but nothing shows up on the monitor. Instead of one beep, you hear one long beep followed by 3 short beeps. You need to look up the beep code. What I would. Yeah. Every computer's different with beep codes. So, which of the following are controls that are available on the side of the screen and consist of search, share, start, devices, and settings? Which of the following are controls that are available on the side of the screen and consist of search, share, start, devices, and settings? What the heck is this talking about? It's not ornament, sidecars, or gestures. It has to be charms. What? Is it not going to say what operating system? I mean, that sounds like a Vista thing, maybe, right? I don't know. Which of the following are OSHA requirements for a safe work environment that must be followed by employers? Choose 2. Provide properly maintained tools and equipment. Attend yearly OSHA safe work environment seminars. Display an OSHA poster in a prominent location. Have OSHA employees stationed within 5 miles of the facility. So I'm going to go with provide properly maintained tools, and you need a poster. Which of the following platter spin rates is most commonly associated with conventional magnetic hard disks? 5400, 7200. 7200 is becoming most popular, but 5400 is like, I'm gonna go with 72. What? Oh, it's not commonly. Oh my gosh. You have to read those, you know? That's what gets you. Which of the following? You find out that a disgruntled ex-employee's computer has a boot password that must be entered before the operating system is ever loaded. There's also a password preventing you access the BIOS utility. Which of the following motherboard components can most likely be turn the computer to a state that will allow you to boot the system without knowing the password? A cable header, a jumper, an expansion slot, power supply connector. So not that one, not that one. Don't know what a cable header is, unless it's talking about like a terminator. AC cable header. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the jumper. To turn off a Windows 7 machine, you should blank. Run the shutdown turn off command at the command prompt. Turn off the switch and unplug the machine. Select start, shutdown, and choose shutdown. Press Ctrl Delete. Just shut it down properly, man. Which directory on a standard Windows 7 installation holds the boot configuration? We did this one before, right? Oop. You're working with a system that is assigned IP configuration information from a central server. You wish to view the IP information on the system. Which of the following commands would you use from the command prompt? ipconfig all. The interpreter in Linux between the operating system and the user is known as the shell. Users are complaining that the print jobs are not printing. You open the print queue and see 50 jobs lined up. The printer is connected properly and online. What should you do? Delete and reinstall Windows? No. Open printer troubleshooting and have it diagnose. Delete and reinstall the printer. Stop and restart the printer spooler. That's what I would do. Which of the following files is at the end of the boot process and presents the user with the logon screen when logon? You have been asked to set up client-side virtualization on an Office computer. The host OS is Windows 7, and there will be 3 Windows 7 guest OSs. Which of the following is true about the need of antivirus security? Installing antivirus software on the virtual switch would protect all guest OSs. The host OS and each guest OS need their own antivirus. The host OS antivirus software will also protect the guest OSs. The host OS needs an antivirus program, but the virtual machines cannot be affected. No, all of them need their own. Which editions of Windows Vista support local security policy? Local security policy. Oh, right. Now choose 3. Okay, so Ultimate has to be 1. I'm gonna go with everything except for Home. There you go. VGA-based video technologies use what type of signal between the adapter and the monitor? Analog. Which of the following is true with regard to the difference between refresh rate and frame rate? Refresh rate can be higher than frame rate in terms of screens of information displayed per second when considered for any given video output. The frame rate of a monitor is adjustable while the refresh rate is fixed. Content is recorded at a specific refresh rate and the output of a monitor at a specific frame rate. Monitors are rated both only in refresh rate or frame rate, but never both. So I would say, okay, so content is recorded at a specific refresh rate and output on a monitor at a specific frame rate. The frame rate on a monitor is adjustable while the refresh rate is fixed. I'm gonna go with this one. Of course I'm wrong. So the refresh rate can be higher than the frame rate in terms of screen of it. Okay, so regardless of how high the refresh rate is, which measures the total number of screens of information. Oh my god, I'm fatigued right now. Why? This is bull. Oh man. It's just totally fatigued. Okay. Only the number of unique frames in the content being displayed. Internal users are seeing repeated attempts to infect their system as reported to them by pop-up messages from their virus scanning software. According to the pop-up messages, the virus seems to be the same in every case. What is most likely the culprit? We just had this one. Which of the following security standards was the first to introduce a dynamic 128 bit per second packet security? I think AES. Nope, WEP could use 64 or 128. But it was a static key. TKIP introduced a dynamic per packet key. AES and CCMP came after. Which of the following are examples of RTOSs? RTOSs? What the heck is an RTOS? I'm blanking out there. RTOS. Oh, real-time operating systems. I don't know. So anything that is Android and iOS. Okay. Oh man, I'm fatigued. Maria is setting up an HTPC and wants to know which type of video cables to purchase. Which of the following is recommended video output technology for home theater PCs? HDMI. Why use anything else? Your Core i5 fan has a 4-pin connector, but your motherboard only has a 3-pin header with CPU fan label. Which of the following is the easiest solution? Get an adapter. Of course it's wrong. I mean, that's what I would do. Plug the 4-pin connector into a 3-pin header. Oh. Okay. Next. Which of the following wireless communication standards is often described in terms of wireless personal area network? Cellular. Dude, I'm not even trying anymore. This is bullshit. Why the fuck am I so fatigued? What type of server is responsible for preventing users from accessing websites with objectionable content? That would be a proxy. What voltage does a Corona wire on a Corona roller hold? How the heck am I supposed to know? I'm gonna say it's a bunch. Hey, I'm right. A toner has a charge of negative 600. Cool. What does the -P option in MKDIR do? I don't think it's any of those. So it's parent. Create subfolders as well as folders. You have been trying to troubleshoot a user system all day long when it suddenly becomes clear that the data is irretrievably lost. Upon informing the customer of this, he becomes so angry that he shoves you against the wall. What should you do? Punch him! Shove him back, only a little harder than he shoved you. Get him. Yell for everyone in the area to come quick. Shove the user back, only a little easier than he shoved you. Try to calm him down. Which tool is shown in the following screenshot? Oh, DXDiag. Which software component of a mobile phone is responsible for managing all wireless communications? The baseband. Which of the following commands can be used to change the owner of a file to chmod? But it's actually chown. Which protocol was developed to be a secure alternative to Telnet? SSH. Which of the following protocols is used for secure delivery of email? SMTP, right? IMAP4 are two protocols that are used for email delivery. Of the two, only IMAP4 provides security features. Ah. Cool, got it. When enabled, which feature of a wireless router allows only specified computers to access the network? MAC filtering. Which of the following protocols is used for delivery? IMAP4. What does a -p parent nectar? So it creates subfolders as well as folders. Which of the following wireless communication standards is often described in terms of Bluetooth? WPANs. A Core i5. Plug the 4-pin connector into the 3-pin. Which of the following are examples of RTOSs? Baseband and SimOS. Real-time OSs. Which of the following security standards was the first to introduce a dynamic 128 bit per second key? That would be... is it WEP? Yeah. Oh, it's TCAP. Oh, dynamic. Gotcha. Users are complaining that the print jobs are not printing. Stop and restart the spooler. Which of the following is true regarding which of the following expansion buses uses serial communications and is capable of operating in USB and PCIe modes? Which of the following platter spin rates is not commonly associated? What is the approximate minimum level of static charge? 3000 volts. Standard permissions are permissions grouped together for easy assignment. You are installing the Windows 8. Was it WinSat Informal? Your manager wants to use a cloud because everyone seems to be doing it. What should you include when you are listing the benefits of using it? Everything but security. Lower cost, reliability, scalability. Which media is susceptible to everything? Even toasters. Phablet 5 to 7. What is the number of active satellites used by GPS? 24 with 8 extra. The backup. Which of the following is a program that runs on top of OSs and allows the users to issue commands? Shell. Which of the following security standards was the first to introduce a dynamic 128 bit per second security key? Dynamic. VGA-based video technologies use what type of video signal between the adapter and the monitor? Analog. What is the approximate minimum level of static charge for humans to feel a shock? 3,000. Which of the following wireless communication standards is often described in terms of a wireless personal area network? Bluetooth. Which of the following is a program that runs on top of OSs and allows the user to issue commands through a set of menus or some other graphical interface that runs on top of an OS? The Core 5 fan, plugging the 4-pin into a 3-pin. Which of the following is true with regards to the difference between refresh rate? Refresh rate can be higher than frame rate. Which of the following security standards was the first to introduce a dynamic 128 packet security key? What is the number of active satellites used by GPS? 2 and 4. Which of the following protocols is used for secure delivery of email? What is the typical screen size of a phablet? You are installing Windows 8 on a solid state drive. Which of the following can be used to reduce the number of write operations? Windows makes this optimizing for Windows. Which of the following expansion buses uses serial communication and is capable of operating USB and PC? Source card. What does the -P option in Mictor do? It prompts create subfolders as well as folders. Alright. Which media is susceptible to viruses? Everything. Everything. Your manager wants to use the cloud because everyone seems to be doing it. What is stuff? Scalability, lower cost, reliability. Which of the following are examples of real-time OSs? Baseband and Ursyn OS. Standard permissions are the same as permissions grouped together for easy assignment. Which of the following powder spin rates is not commonly associated? 1200. Done! Oh my gosh. That was frustrating. Freaking level 10 got a whole bunch wrong. I did learn a lot though. Just frustrating to not know something and get it wrong. It hurts the feels, you know? Alright, so I'm actually going to do the last level, level 11, on a new live stream. So I'm going to rename this one. We did levels, level 8 through 10 on this stream. I'm going to do the last one on a different one just to separate it, just in case someone wants to go through them 11 and someone wants to actually do the last one. So we'll do that one live, but I'm gonna end this stream here. If y'all want to check out this app, it's pretty cool, helps you learn, has a really cool way of helping you learn the stuff that you missed. It's all done automatically through the app. It handles all that, saves all the stuff that you missed. Pretty cool. Study app, it's in the description, go check him out. Same developer, Coco something. He has a lot of other apps for other certifications. Pretty cool. So go check it out. CCNA is on there too, I believe. So go check him out. And for the desktop sharing, I'm using SideSync from Samsung on my Galaxy S8. Alright, check out my next stream. It's going to go live later. And we're going to finish up level 11. Then we're just going to do a whole bunch of studying on the things that I'm kind of rusty on. And I just can't get and I have to memorize. And yeah, and then we'll do some practice tests on the app. We'll see y'all later.